¿Qué tal, amigos? Welcome to another edition of LatiNation Football Club. That's right, I'm here with Chiva Mayor and Alex Crespo. And today, my friends, we have a banger of a show. That's right, we're going to talk about the new champions of MLS and a new MVP. We'll get there. There's people in this set that are biting at the chomp to get to it, but we have so much to cover. We're going to talk about World Cup. The groups for this competition are set, and we have a report straight from DC that you will enjoy very much. And also, we're gonna be talking to a legend of the game. That's right, Marco Fabian, the icon from Chivas, Olympic winner and 2 times World Cup player with Mexico and current player for the Ontario Strikers, will be here on LatiNation Football Club. Let's get started, my friends. And there's one person here that is very happy because not only one of his 1,000 t-shirts became champion, but he was right. I gotta say, the receipts are in. As Nick says, we called him right. Miami won 3-1. Alex Crespo, take the stage and rejoice as the champion.
I mean, it's beautiful, really. I mean, I said it in the show last week. Miami were going to win 3-1. Marce, you said Vancouver, and I told you it was going to be an upsetting weekend, but, you know, we have to look at the bright side. Miami's the victor, and Messi is 2-time MVP. I mean, with a spectacular season, 49 games, 43 goals, and 28 assists. I mean, it was in the books that it was for him.
If you take the playoffs into account, one of the most, if not the most productive season for an offensive player in the history of MLS. Now, Chiva, I'm going to require your deep analysis on this. Is it a risk that MLS is taking right now on relying so much on Miami to grow the MLS in the global stage?
Let me specify more. They're relying more on Messi to hit the global stage. I mean, that's MLS. I said it's MLS 4.0. When David Beckham came in, they did the same thing. It worked for them because now we're at this stage where you see a lot of really good players coming to MLS. Is it going to be beneficial for the league? Is it something that can hurt them in the future? Yes. I think it's time for the MLS to drive away from that and focus more on the global stage with more players de la categoría de Messi. Now, Messi is a GOAT for some, you know. Cristiano Ronaldo should be here in MLS as well, but I don't know if he's coming or not. But right now, MLS with Messi, they're doing great. Messi has brought a lot of attention to our league, and I'm happy for that. You know, at the end of the day, it's a league growing every single year, and now he's a champion. And we don't call him Suavecito Crespo no more. We call him El Brujo Crespo.
El Brujo Crespo, that's right, my friends. Now let's break down the game. The game was an interesting game. Vancouver seemed to have that game, but el que hierro mata, a hierro termina, dice la canción. Just the way that they saved themselves from elimination with LAFC by a double post almost a goal. They experienced the same thing on the opposite side. Vancouver almost had the game, the 2-1 in their hands. They couldn't make it. I feel like they couldn't put their game plan together. They were a bit shy and maybe exhausted. Because if you think about it, they had to travel a lot. They had a really tough game before. And that stadium was on fire.
I mean, the people from Vice City, La Hinchada de Miami, there's one of the best hinchadas in the MLS. You know, they're a South American style, obviously, and I love what they bring to the table, what they bring to the MLS, to the fandom of the hincha and the MLS. Now, besides that, the fact that Jordi Alba and Busquets were playing their final game of their life on a professional level, I'm talking about, of course they were going to give it their all. I mean, we saw it with Jordi Alba with that assist for the 3rd goal. Not an assist, but the pass to Messi so he can make the assist, crying in tears, maybe not believing that it was his last dance. I mean, if you add all of that together and with Miami literally like beating everyone in the playoffs, I think that's the reason why they're the champions, and they deserve to be the champions because they wanted it more with Allende, you know, being on fire, with Messi. You see, like I said it last week, Messi, Alba, Busquets, you see it in their eyes that they won this championship because they want these legends to retire with the championship on their backs, and it was nice to see.
Now, Alex, Busquets is gone. Jordi Alba is gone. Luis Suarez, most likely.
Hopefully.
And as we know, I feel that it's going to be very hard for Miami to retain Allende. Who can we expect to take over the Miami team of bodyguards that Messi needs for the next season?
I mean, we still got De Paul. We can't forget about De Paul. He is going to be a very crucial part in that midfield. But I think that this is time for them to, make some more signings from Europe, especially because they definitely have that gap to fill. But I think that this is going to be the time in the attack, especially for players like Silvetti and Allende to really thrive, especially because Mascherano showed that he has the comfort to, start them in a big game like this. I mean, it's a final in the MLS Cup, and he's choosing them over Luis Suarez, who is a very,
household name.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that the team is still going to keep growing after this, no matter what.
So the future is bright for these two franchises. And now, my friends, it is time for us to talk about something very important. We have a team like Vancouver playing the final. And at the same time, the same week, we have Don Garber, the commissioner of the league, saying, Vancouver, if you do not support the team properly, I'm just going to take the toy away. Chiva, as a big fan, as a face for the fandom of these teams, how fragile it is, the relationship between the players and the team and the community when they can be ripped away, even when they're finally getting some sporting success?
I mean, unfortunately for MLS and even for Liga MX, we're seeing it right now with Mazatlán and Atlante, but let's go back to MLS. It's something that I hate to see because I don't think of the fans. There's fans that I personally know that will give anything they have for Vancouver. Now, if they're not going to the stadium enough, if they, are not present that much, there's a lot of things going on. Let's not forget that they have this deal with Apple TV that honestly is hurting the MLS more than helping them because, there's not
paywall.
It's so for me, seeing the Don Garber coming out saying that they may take Vancouver away is just a slap in the face for the growth of the league because you want a league where clubs and fans feel comfortable supporting a team that they're not going to take away just because you feel like people's not showing up, So I think that's something they got to think of. As a fan here in the MLS, you have to feel comfortable of supporting a team, giving everything you have for a team, and not worrying about in 2 years and saying, you know what, it's not working, we're just taking them to another state.
That's right. Now, my friends, we are close to getting to the end of this segment, but it's time for us to look into the future. I know it's early. We just finished the MLS season, but let's do two things. So we kiss goodbye this season that was spectacular in a nice fashion. Alex, please take me your highlight of the season. It cannot be Miami winning the championship. And your prediction for the future of Miami on the next season.
Honestly, my highlight of this season has to go to LAFC signing Heung-min Son. That was one of my favorite signings for this season. I mean, he is just such an amazing player, especially after linking up with Boanga. They just did some magic there. If they both want to sign for Miami one day, who knows? We'll see. But I think that I have to predict that Miami are going to go far next year. They definitely could be making it into the playoffs. Winning it all, who knows? Because they're going to be missing a lot of crucial players. But I think they're definitely going to make it far.
Chiva?
I mean, for me, the highlight of the season was the fact that the hinchadas, the supporters are growing more. The tifos that we saw all over the year, the representation of what a real hinchada means around the world. I think we're setting the stage for them not to call us fake fans or that we're getting paid for it, because we're not. I guarantee you that. But seeing how much the league has grown in that aspect, seeing those stadiums full of fans, passionate, singing 90 minutes plus, I think that's what I love the most. For the future, I mean, of course, LAFC, new coach, new players coming in. There's going to be a lot of changes with the players for the positive, and I just see a very successful season for LAFC next season.
Very, very well, my friends. In my case, my highlight of the season was, just like Alex, the arrival of Son to LAFC, because it brings a new caliber of players, of young players that still have 2, 3, 4 years playing at a really high level to develop here. And my prediction is that we will continue to see increased traffic of MLS and Liga MX players switching teams in a more regular basis, especially in the younger categories, as Liga MX finds stratospheric prices for their players. MLS is going to be a great destination for them. My friends, it is time for us to go on a break. Don't go anywhere. We still have so much football to talk about. We're going to talk about the World Cup, and we'll be talking also to Marco Fabian, so don't miss it. We'll be right back. You're watching LatiNation Futbol Club.
massive budget down there in LSU, no doubt about it, Joe. But
Well, I just want to bring in, he's very close to Eddie O, too.
Yeah.
And Eddie O potentially had said he would, love a return. You bring that type of talent, another major recruiter.
Yes.
And Ed Ogeron back to Baton Rouge. You're going to have a fantastic NFL caliber type of staff, and they're going to hit the ground running week number 1 come 2026.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
There are a million ways to make money on this. There really is, right? Like, I sit back. We've given you a couple of ours that we've given you. I think they're all going to win, essentially. The gold one, the Google Views one. The only one I might not win, Cam, that I gave people was, will the U.S. government announce that aliens exist in 2026?
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
Here's the problem. When Joe Dumars blows it up and trades Zion, who is going to give them anything more than 25 cents on the dollar for a damaged goods superstar who misses significant time, who doesn't love the game, but is built like a freight train? Problems are in New Orleans, and I don't know how it gets fixed.
Pro Basketball Today only on SportsGrid.
Super Bowl MVP, multiple Super Bowl chances there, a Super Bowl championship as they got it. Nick Sirianni said on the radio, no chance that Jalen Hurts is going to be benched. But by the way, Jalen Hurts didn't play the last 3 games. I think the Eagles would be 3-0 in those games, though. Just saying, Joe.
Oh, wow. How the mighty have fallen when the Eagles fans turn on their quarterback. It's getting ugly in Philly, folks.
The Early Line only on SportsGrid.
And we are back here on LatiNation Football Club, my friends, and it is time to talk about the World Cup. That's right. We are so close, my friends, and 2026 is around the corner, and one of the biggest milestones of this tournament has already happened, which is the draw. The draw happened in Washington, D.C. this week. Chiba, Alex, a lot of controversy around many issues, a fake award given to a president, also a performance from the Village People, and for me the most disrespectful thing of all, bringing all of these great athletes from many different sports with no doubt on or fault of themselves, but I believe that it was a missed opportunity to recognize the pillars and the founders of American football. That's right, American football. There has been so many players that have been instrumental to the development of the game that I think that it was disrespectful and a missed opportunity to shine a light on these people that are the ones behind the growth of the sport. But politics aside, I'm going to leave that, and let's talk about the surprises. You probably are very happy because Argentina has a field day of a group, no danger, nothing. They paid for the VIP treatment. Alex, break it down.
I mean, I think Mexico is just a little jealous of their group because, you got Korea in there. That is going to be a tough opponent. But yes, we did get lucky. It is an easy group. I think, we have to respect Algeria and Jordan and all that. But I think that at the end of the day, it's light work. And it's going to be, I'm telling you right now, mark my words, in the famous words of Nick Z, quote me on that. I'm saying right now, Argentina is going back-to-back.
Okay.
No, creo, but let me tell you something.
That's the fan talking right now. Let's get into the serious stuff. Chiva, please break it down.
Facts are facts. The group that Argentina has, they only needed Atlanta to be a perfect group for Argentina. We're not jealous as Mexicans. I think that, the group that we have, it's very interesting. But let me ask you something, Suavecito. Why do you think it's going to be back-to-back from Argentina, knowing that you have France, Spain,
Germany.
Germany has not been in good shape in years, since that 2014 where they got lucky, because Higuain is a very terrible player at the time. And then we got teams like France who, they just lately have not been that fire that they had in the 2018 World Cup. And then España, yes, I'm a little bit afraid of España, but I feel like, I don't know, it's just, I don't think they have that flame in them like they used to. Lamine is not looking as strong as he used to.
Well, Chiva, we have a special correspondent straight from Washington, D.C., from Alex Sturgis, a very renowned correspondent and sport broadcaster that give us all the inside look to what happened in Washington, D.C. last week.
Hola amigos de LatiNation Football Club, estamos en Washington, D.C., donde este fin de semana se llevó a cabo el sorteo de la FIFA para conocer los grupos, los 12 grupos de 4 selecciones cada uno que van a disputar el Mundial del 2026 el próximo verano en 3 sedes diferentes: México, Estados Unidos y Canadá.
Can I ask all the 3 of you to lift like this on your chest? In front of your chest like this, yeah, the name of the country, we'll give a nice photo.
¿Cómo quedaron estos grupos? Vamos a empezar con la selección mexicana, que quedó en el grupo A junto con Sudáfrica, que de hecho van a inaugurar el Mundial el próximo 11 de junio en el Estadio Azteca. Además es un partido que llama la atención porque se repite en cuanto a la inauguración. Lo vivimos en el 2010, en aquel Mundial donde fue en Sudáfrica y quedaron en empate 1-1. Después nos vamos a topar en Guadalajara a Corea del Sur, un viejo rival. Lo vimos en Francia 98 cuando México le ganó 3-1. Después en Rusia 2018, también un partido importante donde la selección mexicana derrotó 2-1 a Corea del Sur y de esta manera avanzó a la siguiente ronda. Y después, ¿qué viene para México? Bueno, tendremos nuevamente un partido en el Estadio Azteca. El rival está por definirse, sale del repechaje del próximo marzo, donde quizá podremos enfrentar a Dinamarca, que nunca nos hemos topado en un mundial, a Irlanda del Norte, a Macedonia, entre otras selecciones. Esto sí, todavía faltan meses para conocerlo, pero bueno, Javier Aguirre y todos los que él elija para acompañarlo en este mundial tendrán que estar muy bien preparados, porque podemos ver que es un grupo cómodo, de cierta manera fácil. No nos tocó un grupo tan difícil, nos falta todavía el europeo, la selección a la que enfrentaríamos, pero por lo pronto vemos que es un grupo muy posible para que México pueda avanzar. La delantera, pues comandada por Raúl Jiménez, pinta bien hasta este momento, pero claro, se tendrán que hacer algunas modificaciones. Ya si nos comparamos con otras selecciones, pues hay algunas fallas, por supuesto, sobre todo en el nivel que tiene la selección mexicana. ¿Por qué? Porque falta el tema de tener mexicanos en las ligas más poderosas del mundo, el tema de los últimos años que hemos tenido en la Liga MX, el ascenso, el descenso, en fin. Pero bueno, por lo menos yo sí veo una selección mexicana sólida y además jugamos como locales, entonces ¿por qué no soñar? Porque esto sí podría ser un factor para que México pueda avanzar a las siguientes rondas. ¿Qué tenemos ahora con Estados Unidos? Ellos van a debutar en Los Ángeles enfrentando a Paraguay, una selección que tuvo una excelente eliminatoria en la Conmebol. Y bueno, Estados Unidos, a pesar de que no pinta como favorita, pues sí será interesante seguir el trabajo de Mauricio Pochettino. Estados Unidos ha hecho un buen trabajo, sobre todo en sus partidos amistosos que vimos en los últimos meses, en las últimas semanas, así que con las figuras como lo es Pulisic podrían llegar a varias rondas adelante. No creo que lleguen a una semifinal, pero quizás sí a unos cuartos de final. ¿Por qué no? ¿Qué vivimos aquí en Washington? Yo les quiero contar, amigos, porque estuvimos rodeados de celebridades, tanto del mundo artístico como deportivo y, por supuesto, políticos, encabezados por el presidente de la FIFA, Gianni Infantino, también el presidente de los Estados Unidos, Donald Trump, la presidenta de México, Claudia Sheinbaum, y el primer ministro de Canadá, Mark Carney.
This is your place. So, this is the World Cup trophy. This is the official ball for the World Cup.
También les quiero recordar que vimos a Tom Brady, este excelente quarterback, el mejor de todos los tiempos para muchos, ganando 7 Super Bowls con 2 equipos diferentes. Vimos a Shaquille O'Neal, vimos a muchísimos otros leyendas ya del fútbol, como lo es Francesco Totti. Vimos también a Hugo Sánchez, ya hablando de mexicanos, al Matador Hernández, a Jared Borghetti, en fin, una lista increíble de celebridades. Y algo que les quiero contar que me llamó mucho la atención en el sorteo es que cuando nos separan a los medios de comunicación, también pusieron un apartado específico para los influencers. Algo que no había pasado en otros mundiales, o por lo menos en mi experiencia de los 3 que he cubierto, no habíamos visto esto. Y esto es importante, ¿por qué? Porque le da también apertura a los creadores de contenido, en este caso deportivos. Amigos, con esto los dejo y espero que se encuentren muy bien. Muchos saludos desde Washington.
Thank you, Alex. Excellent report. And you at home, expect to see Alex more often as we cover this amazing tournament that is happening in Mexico, Canada, and the United States. But it's time to go on a break. You are watching LatiNation Football Club.
let's play our game of buy or sell. The Lions will make the playoffs this season. Buy or sell?
I believe that's what the computer tells us, right? They are almost exactly 50-50 to make the playoffs now after that win. Now, it's sort of the game I'm going to play here when we talk about the Cowboys making the playoffs. If you're going to put Detroit in, Craig, who are you taking out? All right? I mean, they're not, even with the win last night, they're not in the playoff spot right now. They're still the 8th seed here. You take out San Fran? I mean, their schedule's cake. They should get in. Green Bay beat you twice. I mean, so you would probably need, for them to make the playoffs, Seattle's the other team, by the way, I think Seattle gets in. You would need Green Bay or Chicago, really, what they're ready for is one to beat the other. They do play each other twice, to beat them twice, right? They can't have a split here. They need either Chicago to beat Green Bay twice or Green Bay to beat Chicago twice, sort of eliminate the other team. So I am probably selling this. I do think there's a chance here. You look at the Lions' schedule, Pittsburgh, Minnesota, Chicago, the last two are on the road.
Yeah, I think that I'm on board here with you. In the AFC, Detroit would be in. But in the NFC, you have to make a prediction to knock a team out. Now, like as an example, in the NFC East, could you see a scenario, George, where Philadelphia just completely falls apart like they did 2 years ago? Sure, but then they still would win the division. Like you really can't find a path for the Lions unless, for me, I guess the team that I would question the most to make it and knock them out would be the Bears. Like that would be it. It would be just the Bears playing the softer schedule. I know they beat Philadelphia last week, but I just can't do it right now. So unfortunately, this could be a 11-win season, 10-win season for Detroit without them getting in. I will sell. They will not make it. I'm with you here.
Fantasy Sports Today, Friday starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
And we are back, my friends. This is LatiNation Football Club. I am your host, Marcelino Ortiz, and today we are celebrating because we have a VIP guest, Marco Fabian. As you guys well know, he is an icon of Chivas. He's a champion in Europe, a winner of an Olympic medal with Mexico, and currently a player and star for the Empire Strikers of the Major Arena Soccer League. Marcos, thank you for being here and welcome. How are you, my friend?
Thank you. I'm good. Thank you for having me. And yeah, I'm happy to be here and share my time with you guys.
Amazing. Tell me a little bit, ¿de qué se trata el Major Arena Soccer League? ¿Cómo es diferente del fútbol de 11 contra 11? ¿Y por qué decidiste continuar tu carrera acá?
Sí, a ver, la verdad que estoy muy emocionado de estar en esta liga. Es una liga que va en crecimiento, una liga con diferentes reglas, pero una liga de indoor soccer, de fútbol rápido. ¿Qué es eso, no? La emoción de que dentro del fútbol lo más emocionante son los goles, ¿no? Los goles que la gente disfruta. Y en este tipo de deporte hay muchos goles, hay muchas jugadas de gol. Es un fútbol rápido que se está jugando portería a portería, emociones de gol tácticamente, y las reglas cambian un poco, pero la calidad de jugadores ha crecido bastante y hoy yo lo noto. Tengo ya es mi tercera temporada aquí y va creciendo y sobre todo que la gente se va acercando y va conociendo más de lo que es la liga, ¿no?
Now that you've been here in the United States and you experienced the fandom, ¿qué tal son los fans aquí en Estados Unidos, el recibimiento que tienen, no solo cuando juegas en Ontario, pero también cuando juegas en otras ciudades del país?
I know. Siempre tuve la oportunidad de que cuando venía con la selección nacional a jugar amistosos aquí, a jugar algún torneo, Copas Oro, lo que fuera, o con Chivas, o llegué a venir con Cruz Azul, la afición latina aquí siempre nos recibió de la mejor manera. Para mí, la gente latina, los mexicanos, en especial en Estados Unidos, siempre nos recibieron de la mejor forma. Y hoy me toca compartir el tiempo con todos ellos, que me toca estar ya de planta aquí y que muchos latinos están acercándose a ver la liga, ¿no? Comparando con otros torneos, estamos teniendo cada día más latinos que van a ver nuestros partidos en el Toyota Arena en Ontario, gente que a veces cruza la ciudad para ir a ver los partidos y lo notamos ahí en la arena, ¿no? Que yo veo muchos con camiseta de Chivas, con camiseta de selección nacional, y pues es un orgullo. Al final trato de compartir mucho el tiempo con ellos. Nos ven jugar más de cerca dentro de la arena. Trato de al final del partido otorgarles un autógrafo, tomarme una foto, platicar con los niños, y eso para mí es un orgullo porque durante muchos años nos apoyaron y hoy siguen ahí, ¿no?
Excelente. Now, I want our audience to know something that is very important that I want our audience to know about you. You right now are doing a for me, one of the most important efforts to grow Mexican football around the world. You are the owner of a team that is fighting for a spot to go to Champions League in Andorra.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit of how this opportunity came to be and how important it is for you to have Mexican players aspiring to play at the highest level of football in the world.
Yeah. For me, it's the most important thing. I just grew up like a children with a lot of dreams, and thanks of God, I got my dreams come true. You know, I played 2 times World Cups, 2 World Cups, 1 Olympic Games, and I play in Europe. So right now, my goal is to try to help the children. I try to help the young players with talent to send to Europe. La historia es que hace 2 años y medio, junto con gente que hay detrás mío, obtuvimos el equipo en Europa, en Andorra. Es un país, es un principado que está en medio de Francia y España, pero que tiene las mismas oportunidades que cualquier liga europea, que son las oportunidades de ir y competir a una previa de Champions League, de Europa League o de Conference League. Entonces empezamos en segunda división, no fue fácil, fue un camino difícil, complicado. Ascendimos el equipo, la franquicia, a primera división. Rangers es un equipo que tenía historia, pero había estado en segunda división por mucho tiempo, lo ascendemos. Entonces estamos rompiendo el récord, tenemos 14 mexicanos en el equipo y bueno, el equipo va cada día creciendo, se convirtió en un club, tenemos fútbol femenil, fútbol base, que son los niños, y fútbol de sala. Entonces, vamos creciendo y abriendo las oportunidades a todos estos jóvenes.
And before we go, Marco, por favor, ¿dónde te puede encontrar la gente, a ti, a tu marca de ropa, y dónde pueden encontrar boletos para el home opener de los Empire Strikers?
Claro que sí, los invitamos a que nos sigan mucho en el social media. Mi personal Instagram es Marco Fabian _10, me pueden encontrar ahí. Y nuestra marca, para que vayan a verla, está como en Instagram, estamos como All Money Social Club. Y no se pierdan, los invitamos este viernes próximo 12 de diciembre a nuestro home opener en el Toyota Arena. Tenemos el partido contra San Diego y pueden obtener los boletos por Ticketmaster. Así que ahí los esperamos. Un clásico californiano, va a ser un gran show, se van a divertir, así que los invitamos a todos.
We have to call it a day. The end of the game is here, and we have to say goodbye. But before that, we want to thank you, the MVP of LatiNation Football Club, for choosing to spend this time with us. We'll be here next week con lo mejor de fútbol, futbol, soccer, whatever you call it, we have it here on LatiNation Football Club. I am your host, Marcelino Ortiz, and I'll see you next week.
Super Bowl MVP, multiple Super Bowl chances there, a Super Bowl championship as they got it. Nick Sirianni said on the radio, no chance that Jalen Hurts is going to be benched. But by the way, Jalen Hurts didn't play the last 3 games. I think the Eagles would be 3-0 in those games, though. Just saying, Joe.
Oh, wow. How the mighty have fallen. When the Eagles fans turn on their quarterback, it's getting ugly in Philly, folks.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
They're doing a new show about a Japanese interpreter.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're doing like I don't know if it's a documentary or like actors are in it.
It's got
I think it's a drama.
It's a real show.
It's like a scripted show?
Yeah.
About a Japanese interpreter?
Yes.
I wonder who's getting paid for that.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
You're legendary. I'm legendary. And both of these guys love each other. Right? Cam Ward, they do. They work out. They work out. Legendary.
Go ahead.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Shador Sanders.
Yep.
250 plus and 2 tutties each.
Amazing. That's nuts.
What? Why is it nuts?
Come on, that's crazy.
Why though?
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
I think this is a very tough one. I haven't bet this because I still think it's that close. I would lean towards the sentiment of the voter body instead of the anointing of the new star. But at a certain point, the next 2 weeks, Drake May could be undeniable. It's really interesting market right for those two. And remember when Matthew Stafford wasn't going to play all year? Remember in August where he wasn't practicing and now he is number 2 for MVP. So go figure.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.